Number one, yeah?
Number one, my number one. Also a Jew being successful in Hollywood. So I've got two Jews. No, there's no other Jews in there. I've got a Korean, Joss Whedon, a Brit, and two Jews. So I'm multicultural. Jurassic Park.
Oh, nice.
Jurassic Park. One of the first films I ever saw. I think the first film I ever watched was one of the Disney movies, probably. And one of the first movies that my mum and dad actually sat me down, let's watch this movie. I think you're really going to like it. My sister was Jurassic Park. And Christ, was I impressed.
So you saw this at home?
Saw it at home, yeah, because I was 4 when it came out in the cinema. And I think it was 12. It's 20 years old this year. Oh, shit, actually, no, it was 3.
What year was it?
1993.
93. Let me do the math here.
20 years old.
Forget it. It's too hard.
So, it's just, to me, it's the perfect movie. Now, there are plot holes here and there, like, the T-Rex climbs out of the thing properly, but then when it goes over, there's a big, massive drop. And so, but you're also talking about a movie that have dinosaurs now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, like, what's the issue? It's just...
You have to suspend your disbelief for a minute, yeah.
Exactly. It's just a perfect movie. For me, it's a perfect movie. There's just... The acting is excellent. Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, Samuel L. Jackson.
Classic,
so no motherfucker, unfortunately. But
you knew it was there, bubbling under the surface.
It was probably said what he got fucked up by those raptors. Who else is in it? Laura Dern, who's also a great actress.
She is underappreciated as well, these days anyway.
And I'm trying to think of anyone else that's good, decent in it. Off the top of my head, I can't think of anyone.
That fat guy was pretty good.
Yeah, he was, but I've always had an innate hatred for that chap just for what he did.
What did he do?
He started the whole dinosaur thing.
Oh, right. I thought in real life...
No, I mean in the movie. I just don't like him.
I thought he'd missed something in the news about him being a paedophile or something.
No, well, he has that look about him.
Doesn't he?
So the acting is class. Special effects were groundbreaking at the time.
They're still pretty decent.
Still very, very good, and I like the mix of practical and CGI. That's one of my favourite things about it. The T-Rex head is, it's a puppet.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't make it any less scary. You know what I mean? It still terrified me when I was a kid, and the soundtrack is outstanding. John Williams,
That's John Williams as well, yeah.
Yeah, what a man. What an absolute man.
Yeah. This is something as well I wanted to say about The Ring. The fact that it has a good soundtrack, obviously that's great in itself, because it's got a good soundtrack. I've noticed that films that tend to have really good soundtracks are just better films anyway, and that's because the kind of guy who directs a good film has an appreciation for a good soundtrack. Whereas the kind of guy who directs a mediocre film, he has an ear for a mediocre fucking soundtrack, and he gets some nobody to do it. Or maybe he can't afford the likes of Hans Zimmer or whatever, But a good soundtrack is the mark of a good film. Definitely.
And also I think that someone who knows a good soundtrack also knows where to place that soundtrack in the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, one of the problems, and I had very, very few problems with Man of Steel, but one of the problems I had with Man of Steel was that the music seemed to just pop up randomly, and in dialogue-heavy scenes, they just had, like, drum beats and stuff, and you're like, keep them, like, there was some good bits with good music placed in there, but I just thought maybe it was a bit too much. So, but Jurassic Park, I mean, geez, that opening theme,
perfect.
Absolutely brilliant. And they do a lighter version of that at the end when they're flying off in a helicopter, and it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. Like, it's actually very, so you're like, jeez, the poor dinosaurs. They don't know what they're doing. So I really, really love Jurassic Park. I would definitely make it my favourite movie, probably of all time. And I think they followed it up with what was a very, very good sequel. Not as good as the original, but the sequel is, it's up there. It's a very, very good film. And then the third one was tripe.
The third one, now the second one had Jeff Goldblum, hadn't it?
Yes.
And then the third one had Sam Neill. What was going on in the third one?
The third one is when they go back to the island with the lost world.
Sam Neill goes. The young fella goes missing, and the rich couple want to try and find the kid again.
Yeah. And my problem with that was that it just ended. They're getting chased by the raptors, and they make it to the beach and all that shit, and then the army shows up, and it's finished, and you're like, the fuck? So
it wasn't great.
They killed off the T-Rex, so fuck them.
The only thing that really saved that entire film is Sam Neill. He'd be pretty much the only reason I watch it. Not just because he's a good actor, but the actual character itself. The character was well written. Even though the rest of the story was phoned in. His presence in that story makes you want to, watch it and see how it turns out.
Yeah, I think there's also nostalgia. Do you know what I mean? Like, you want to watch Jurassic Park 3 because you love that Alan Grant character. You want to see him again.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum is brilliant, and he's brilliant in The Lost World. Do you know what I mean? But you could miss Sam Neill in The Lost World. Do you know what I mean? I think maybe they could have brought Brian back, although I think The Lost World book is very specific in the fact that Alan Grant didn't want to go back, and that's why Jeff Goldblum kind of, Ian Malcolm takes over that kind of main character role. But I just, I don't know, I think maybe they could have thrown him in, even a little cameo would have been great, but, what do I know?
Yeah.
I'm just a fan.
I wonder how the fourth film is going to go now.
I have faith. Now, originally they were going to go with the chap who directed number 3, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Joe Johnson, so I'm happy with that. They're going back to the original island, and I think they have all new cast, which I'm kind of disappointed about, because when you watch those movies, it's like Star Wars. Okay, part of the reason I didn't like not that I didn't like the new trilogy. I mean, I enjoyed them when I watched them, but they don't really hold the camera.
There's millions of reasons not to like the new trilogy, but as I said earlier about Jurassic Park, you still watch it because you want to see how the story goes.
I want to see how the character, but I think maybe the part of the reason I didn't like the 1, 2, and 3 as much as 4, 5, and 6 is because you don't have your Luke Skywalker, you don't have Han Solo. You know what I mean? My favorite part of the whole trilogy is probably when Chewbacca makes an appearance. You know what I mean? It's just something that I love those characters. I want to see them again. So I'm hoping they'll have a cameo, or maybe they'll be involved somehow. But I can only hope. But I have faith in it. It's coming out in 2015, which also, when I just posted a comment that 2015 is looking like a very, very big year for movies.
Really?
Oh, it's like Star Wars Episode 7, Avengers 2, Batman vs Superman, Jurassic Park 4, Avatar 2. Like, I mean, the list of movies that are coming out in 2015 is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So I think it's going to be a good year for movies.
Good year for sequels.
Good year for sequels, yeah, definitely. Terminator 5 as well.
Seriously?
Back. Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, a thing that you should look up, and that the viewers should also look up, is Cumberbund Bandersnatch, or Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay. His impression of Chewbacca on the Graham Norton show. Did you see it?
No.
Spot on. I mean, he sounds exactly like Chewbacca, but he was sitting right beside Harrison Ford when he did it.
Really?
And Harrison Ford's face he just kind of goes like that, like he's so shocked at how good it is.
Just starts having flashbacks, yeah?
Yeah, he's just like, Jesus, that brought me back. I'm really looking forward to Episode 7. But anyway, that's completely off the topic we were talking about. Jurassic Park is my favourite film of all time. I will watch it over and over and over and over again and never get sick of it. In fact, I try to watch it every year on my birthday if I can, because it makes me that happy.
It's a classic. I'll back you up on that one. It's a classic. And it is a film that I could watch again and again.
So you're number 1, and I said I would guess.
That's right.
1. Now, I've been thinking about it for the last week, and I'm going to go with this film based solely on the fact that I think it's a film you would love, alright?
Yeah.
And it just seems like it's right up your alley, and I just think it's something you love. The Big Lebowski.
Oh my God. I was very careful. After that video, I went and I checked out my Facebook, I think I checked my MySpace, just to make sure I hadn't gotten it written somewhere. Favorite film, Big Lebowski. Do you know what I mean? Because I said, he's going to blade and look it up, and that's what he's going to write down.
No.
But yeah.
I thought about it, and I was like, Big Lebowski. It just seems like your type of movie.
I love it. There's literally, I wouldn't have to think twice about this being my top film.
Jeff Bridges.
So, you've seen it, yeah?
I have, yeah.
And what do you make of it?
I like it. I like it. It's not one of my favourite films of all time, but I mean, it's definitely a very good film. It's a film that I would watch more than once and enjoy. I really, really liked it.
My introduction to it was, I don't know how this happened. I don't know what year it was due. I'm assuming that's what your tapping is there.
Yes, I am. Yeah, sorry.
I've no idea when it came out, and I totally missed it. I knew nothing about it. Somebody mentioned it in work one day about it being a great film. I had no idea what he was talking about, and it didn't sound very good. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. And then he was talking to me, maybe a few weeks later. Have you seen that film yet? Oh no, I haven't had a chance. I was just giving him the brush off, So anyway, one day he comes in with this tape, this VHS tape, and he says, here, there you go, take a look at that, you know. I was like, oh, okay. And I said, I'll stick it on while I'm making dinner or something, and I'll kind of pay half attention to it, so I can go back into work the next day and tell them I sat down and watched it and pretend I liked it, whatever. But I was blown away. I thought it was brilliant. And the thing about it is, I've bought it since on DVDs for myself and presents for other people. Like, there's a tagline on it about, you know, comedy of the year or the classic comedy or something like this. It's not a comedy. It's the furthest thing from a comedy you could get. Now that doesn't mean it's a deadly serious film. And this is the thing with the Coen brothers. They don't make films like, who else? Who am I thinking of? The Farrelly brothers.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't like Me, Myself and Wherein or something about Mary. It's a film about a very kind of down-to-earth storyline. A man's rug gets stolen, and he basically goes to get his rug back.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the entire plot of the film. Obviously, more happens. And there's funny moments in it. But funny moments don't turn into a comedy. And somebody watching it thinking it's a comedy is going to say, this comedy is shite.
Yeah.
They're totally not going to appreciate it. But if you just watch it for what it is, and that is the greatest story ever told, if you just watch it from that point of view, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, great soundtrack.
Yeah, it's a very, very good soundtrack.
Music I probably wouldn't listen to, you know, in my regular day-to-day life. Now, here's the thing. I went down and I bought that soundtrack.
Really?
It's probably the worst soundtrack I have, right? By far. There's like 3 songs on it that are fantastic. Creedence Clearwater Revival, and I think Chris Christopherson sings another song. A couple of others. But the rest of the music on it, it's like the kind of music that the dude would listen to when he's getting strung out in the bath. Weird kind of ambient 1970s German techno. Just weird shit like that. Awful stuff.
I'm just looking at the soundtrack here. There are songs on here, very, very well-known songs, right? But they're all performed by not the original artist.
Oh, classic. I'm glad you brought that up. The Gypsy Kings.
Yeah.
Hotel California. Fucking brilliant. Do you remember it in the film?
I don't remember it in the film. Because
it's the bit where Jesus is cleaning his bowling ball. And it's all in slow motion. And you see it licking it. Fucking great scene. And that's actually my favourite version of that song.
Yeah. I actually have another favourite version of Hotel California. It's by an Asian singer. Samantha got me into it. It's I can't remember the chap's name offhand, but it is a very, very good version. But that scene it's just perfect.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think your point about comedies that aren't comedies, but they are funny in parts, is one that applies to. Have you ever seen Funny People?
Tell me a bit about it.
Adam Sandler gets cancer and he...
Yes, Seth Rogen.
Hang on a second. I can tell to shut up. So we'll cut that bit out. Funny People, Adam Sandler gets cancer, Seth Rogen and all that's in it.
He sort of takes him in as a kind of apprentice kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a movie that I went into expecting it to be a laugh out loud kind of Pineapple Express style comedy. And wasn't, and then I was very disappointed the first time I watched it. But when I watched it again, alright, I'm just going to go in with an open mind on this. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good film. So
just appreciate it for what it is. A genuine down-to-earth story.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
A funny moment in it.
Yeah, so I think that's something that applies to The Big Lebowski. It's not you're going to be in Kink's Dumb and Dumber style comedy, as you said, Farrelly Brothers.
No,
it's a movie. It's a typical Coen Brothers movie. It's a movie that's good, very, very good, very well written. Characters are excellently portrayed by the actors that are doing them, but there are some hilarious moments in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The actors are amazing in it. Do you know who was fantastic in it? What's that guy's name? He got really big about 5 years ago. He was in... No. Blonde guy. He was in Mission Impossible 3. He played Truman. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I watched that film like a dozen times, and then after Philip Seymour Hoffman got kind of big and popular and he was in loads of films, I watched Big Lebowski a dozen times after that. And it was like a long, long time before I copped on that that's the guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy. He's the original Lebowski's manservant, the Smithers or whatever his name is. But when you watch that film, even though I didn't know who he was, I thought his character was brilliant. But even more so now that I know what he's actually like in real life.
Yeah.
Because he is nothing like this character. And it's actually, I'd say it's easily his best role. But he'll never be remembered for it.
No.
No one will ever say his best role was his 5 minutes on screen in The Big Lebowski.
Yeah, because I actually completely forgot. Because when you said the person you got real big, I was thinking Steve Buscemi and I was thinking John Turturro. It's only when I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only when I read Philip Seymour Hoffman, I was like, oh shit, yeah, he's actually in that movie.
Brandt, I think his name was.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Actually, just talking about the Coen Brothers comedy, have you seen No Country for Old Men, yeah?
Do you know what? I've seen half of it.
Really?
And I can't remember why I only saw half, but it looked decent, but it wasn't. Do you know what it was? It was one of those films that everybody was raving about. So I had my hopes too high, you know? And maybe I didn't see the very start of the film, so maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. It's a very good. It's a Coen Brothers movie. They tend to be outstanding. You know what I mean? The only one I was very disappointed in was A Serious Man. Not that it was a bad movie. Your man.
That's another one I saw bits of.
Abrams. But yeah, so it's just a movie. I think you should sit down and watch it now. Just something because when I said No Country for Old Men, There Will Be Blood came into my head. Because they were filmed, like location-wise, they were filmed literally over a hill from one another.
Right.
And it was actually I think it was a scene in. There was a scene in There Will Be Blood where the smoke was so bad that they couldn't shoot No Country for Old Men.
Yeah.
Because the smoke was coming over the hill.
Yeah.
But it just popped into my head for some reason, a random trivia fact. Have you seen There Will Be Blood?
I saw the last 10 minutes of it.
Oh, really?
In like this little bowling alley kind of thing in someone's house, I think it was.
You saw the only decent part of the film, I thought.
I think it's his son. He's lecturing his son about milkshakes or something.
It's not his son.
That's the impression I got.
It's one of those movies. Okay, it could be his son. I can't fucking remember. Actually, the plot was so convoluted. But it's just one of those movies that everyone ranted and raved about. Oh, it's a masterpiece, and everyone should watch it. And I sat down and I watched it, and I was like, you know what, this film. I mean, it's an okay film, but I wasn't like at the edge of my seat. You know what I mean? Like I was sitting there going. Okay, so there's Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah.
If you get Daniel Day-Lewis in your movie, it's going to be up there for Oscar nominations, regardless of how crap the movie is.
Definitely.
And I don't even know if I like him as an actor. He's great at getting into character.
Yeah.
He's great at that. And obviously you have the whole mythology about how he does that, you know. But I tend not to like his characters. To me, they're cartoonish. 9 times out of 10, they're cartoonish.
Have you seen Gangs of New York?
Yeah. I liked it. And that's probably actually one of his better characters in my book. Yeah. Because he seemed like a proper evil bastard.
Yeah. I thought that was his best role. I think it's his best role. I thought he was very good as Lincoln. I really, really enjoyed Lincoln.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
But I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge history nerd. You know, I'm really into history, so I really enjoy it. I mean, it is literally 2 hours of congressional debate, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because I'm into history, I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I felt it really.
Do you know what? Just thinking about making a crap film, but getting Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they had got him for Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter?
That would have been amazing.
Wouldn't that have been class?
He would have actually gone hunting vampires.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He's a lunatic.
He is. He really is a lunatic. But
I'll tell you what as well.
Lunatic.
You know, My Left Foot?
Yeah.
I saw that recently, about 10 minutes of it. And it was probably the first time I've seen it in about 20 years.
Mm.
And I know it's one of them films that's a classic and blah-de-blah-de-blah. But it was awful.
He's such a spastic.
We were watching it. But the film itself, Brenda Fricker's pretty good. I mean, she's a good actress. A couple of other people. But the rest of it, it was like these were people who didn't get onto the set of Fair City. They weren't even good enough to be extras.
Yeah.
Awful acting.
I'm just pissed off that he stayed in that wheelchair for all that time. Like, there's no fucking need for it, Daniel. Like, really, there's no need.
People had to carry him to bed. People had to feed him.
He's just a prick.
Yeah.
He's just lazy.
Have you ever heard of acting?
Yeah. I mean, method acting is alright, but he's just taking it too far. Like, he got pneumonia on the set of Gangs in New York because he refused to wear a jacket.
Are you serious?
Like, what?
Didn't he break a couple of ribs on My Left Foot?
Yeah, from
being punched over for so long.
Yeah, and what annoys me about that is you're literally holding up production of the film. Like, you're being a dick.
Yeah.
Refused to go to the hospital with the pneumonia. I'm sure he probably nearly died. Hope he nearly died. Prick.
Hope.
So I mean,
but there you go.
Great actor.
That's our opinion.
That's our opinion.
But if you're watching this, Daniel Day-Lewis, you're a Mongo.
Yeah, an absolute Mongo. That's why we were so good on My Left Foot. Yeah, that's top 5.
That's a top 5.
So we do. When we do a quick recap, we'll just list them.
I can't remember my first three.
So I know Matrix was one of them.
Oh, yes. You had Matrix. You had iRobot.
Yeah.
You had... I think that was number 3. What was number 4?
Ah, fuck it.
Forget it. Stupid idea that was.
Rewatch the first video.
Yeah.
I'll just name three of mine randomly because you did 2 of yours. It was
Good one.
iRobot and the Matrix, yeah. Oh Boy and the Avengers.
Yes.
They're in there somewhere. So.
And I'm going to make something up. I'm going to say my number 4 was Tron Legacy.
And mine was Star Wars Episode 1, solely for Jar Jar.
Oh, yeah. If anything, he saved that film in my book.
Definitely, yeah.
He's the only reason I watch it. 5 minutes later. Do you know what we have to do? Like, I have to leave here in exactly 1 minute.
Okay.
But you did guess my number 1 film. So
yes,
you should tell me what crap fest you want me to watch as a punishment.
Right, I had a couple of options open to me.
Quite away.
I was going to get you to watch the worst film I've ever watched, which is Thanksgiving 3.
Thanksgiving 3?
Yes, it's a sequel to Thanksgiving 1. There is no Thanksgiving 2. And in Thanksgiving 3, they're trying to find the last copy of Thanksgiving 2, a fake movie that exists only in Thanksgiving 3.
That sounds good.
Find it. Oh, it's terrible. It's not even. It's the first one is hilariously bad. You know, one of those movies you sit down and you watch it like, this is brilliant because it's so shit. Number 3 doesn't have that quality. It's just bad. It's about a murderous turkey.
Sweet. Is it like, CGI or cartoon?
Oh no, it's puppetry.
Puppetry. Even better.
Yes.
I'm excited for this.
It's not. No one's gonna watch it. It's terrible. But slight spoiler: there is a scene where they cut off someone's face, and the turkey wears the face and pretends to be someone's dad. And the characters in the movie do not realize that the turkey is wearing dad's face.
Jiminy Jillikers.
Yes, so it's brilliant but terrible at the same time. I was going to get you to watch that, but I thought you may enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to find it. Yeah. Go on.
So, your punishment, if you so choose to accept it, is to watch 1996's or 1997's Batman and Robin.